I ought to start the session by actually setting my position out. I'm not a cloud zealot, but I do very, very strongly believe that this is the one of those technologies that will be invasive and will have every major IT shop will, in fact, over the next 2-3 years, be making use of it to greater or lesser extent. First of all, I'd just like to go through. Let's have a look. There we go. Right. I'll just very briefly set the scene, because quite a few of you hopefully know of Endsleigh through having been at university or higher education. We did have 118 branches, but the marketplace has moved on, and over the last 5 years it's totally moved, as you're well aware, onto the internet. So now we have 2 service centres, one in Cheltenham, one in Burnley, and I'll come back to those fairly soon. We have over 500,000 customers, and we're providing and selling insurance products for up to about 30 providers. Predominantly we're in the personal lines, which is motor and household and travel. Over 80% of our new business now on motor and household comes direct through the internet and is fulfilled direct. So it doesn't touch our call centres at all, straight through. The majority of the call centres are actually therefore being used for the ongoing servicing of those contracts. Particularly if you want to do adjustments, although it seems very simple to yourselves as members of the public, the fact is that by moving an address from one place to another, changing car, changing vehicles, it can in fact actually change totally your risk profile, which can cause big premium increases. Now, the important thing to do is to look at that. There's 500,000 quotes a day we do. And all of that predominantly is coming through the aggregators. As I say, we also come direct. We have our own website, and we try, as does every other insurer, to get people to actually come direct to your website, because that way we don't have to pay the introduction fee that comes with the aggregators. Because it's so important to us, and I was saying about Cheltenham and Burnley, we used to have, and this is a typical financial services environment, you'd have a live site, and then you'd have your DR site. And of course you'd have to have an exact copy of everything. Full copies, because, as I say, if over 80% of your business is coming through that internet, then even a few minutes can absolutely, is very, very expensive. Here's some graphs of exactly how much our internet business has been going up. The bottom one, hopefully you can all read that, the bottom one's year 2007, then 2008, 2009, then a big jump again, 2010, and 2011's carrying on. Unfortunately, Endsleigh's business has not grown anywhere near as rapidly as the number of quotes. If you have a look at that jump, which is from January 2009 to 2010, almost definitely that was an aggregator putting up one of those slidey bars on that so you could move the number of your excess from one to another to another. What that means is that every time you move one of those slidey bars, you're somewhere in the region of probably 60, 70 companies around the country are having to recalculate and then send it back again. So these are raw quotes. And when you consider there's 20 odd million vehicles and we're doing 500,000 quotes potentially in a day, it does make you realise just how many times people are moving these slideys up and down. And just to give you a bit more statistics, because everybody IT likes statistics. When I say 500,000, that's 500,000 raw quotes. We're actually doing it for 30 different insurers, and we do 3 different quotes for each insurer: third party fire and theft, and fully comp. So in actual fact, I'll leave you to do the maths. That's 3 times 30 times $500,000. And it's all got to be turned around in less than a second to actually get out. And earlier somebody was talking about latency. My SLAs are, I time it from the moment that it comes into Endsleigh's WAN to the moment it leaves, because I can't guarantee how long that latency and interruption will be. You'll notice that there's some certain peaks. It tends to be round about the August mark, and there's always an Easter peak, which actually it falls back to the old days where it was August the 1st. There is still that echo from new vehicles after all these years. Another one that's very important is the predictability of it. I'm always surprised in listening to the Google chap. It's unbelievable that how ant-like we are as a human race. That pattern is Monday to Friday, and I've got no doubt for most of your industries, you can actually produce the same kind of patterns. And there's a different pattern for the Saturday and Sunday. We also have certain spikes. You'll see when major footballing or any sporting event, you'll suddenly see decreases in that. An unfortunate fact of life, when we had the riots, the amount of demand, all of a sudden people were seeing places go up in flames, massive spike in insurance quotes and to business taken out for flats and housing. People were suddenly sensitised. People suddenly become aware there's this risk. It's real. I'm seeing somebody actually losing all of their possessions. They go straight online. Times of flood, same kind of thing. So with insurance, it's a yin and yang. On the one hand, you're going to be paying out a lot for these disasters, but on the other hand, you're sensitising everybody to the need for insurance. So it was so important that what we did, we moved from having a live and a DR, we changed it over, and now we've actually got a live. So we've split all our internet traffic across 2 sites, and we've done everything we can with resilience of in the WAN. Both Burnley and Cheltenham both have 2 separate links, internet links going into them, both with different providers. We're doing everything we can to make our internet presence as robust as possible. That is vital to us. So, our business requirement. Our opportunities and markets are expanding. Endsleigh's growing, very much so. We have requirements to scale. Zurich pulled out of the personal lines just over a year ago, and Zurich actually own Endsleigh. What they've done is they're coming back into the personal lines marketplace, and they're doing it via Endsleigh. Endsleigh are the third-party administrator for them, which means that I was under NDA, and I got told that we were given this opportunity. It's a great feather in the cap for Endsleigh, but it also meant that everything was going to have to double. So when we say requirement to scale, when you get told that in a year's time your throughput's going to double, but of course you can't increase your people by double, and you can't increase all your back stuff, everything else by double, it tends to focus the mind. And of course all the time there's that challenge to produce greater efficiency. So you may be doubling it, but actually we're almost expecting a decrease. Going back to that chart I had, I'm in a situation I've had to buy 200% of my hardware. So I've had to buy, for this resilience, enough hardware and enough capacity to handle all of Endsleigh's business at the peak of the day, at the peak period of the year, from any one site. And I don't think I can be too dissimilar to lots of other people. And then I've also shown you the fact that the internet business is constantly going. People are tweaking these, the aggregator sites and making it easier. Mobile phone, the tablets, we're all working on making it even easier for you as consumers to go onto the internet. And that'll mean that those figures will jump up again and again. Now, Endsleigh started off, and in fact that to date still does, have internal line of business systems because we are a specialist intermediary. We've got our own dedicated facilities because we wanted that compliance, we wanted that assurance, but it comes at a cost. And I was aware of cloud computing. So, what did it mean? I came here a year ago to try to find out more about what was actually going on. I wanted to find a partner, which was a bit strange saying that to my wife. I'm going to London to find a partner, but she was okay. I met the IM group out there, and I had a very good chat with Jeremy, and we quickly established that there seemed to be the basis on going forwards. And we agreed that in actual fact there should be some kind of phased approach, and most of all, it made sense to go for a proof of concept. We also discussed the skills. In-house, we've got lots of Microsoft development skills, so Microsoft seemed to be the natural partner to us. Plus, of course, the amount of investment that they were ploughing into it, so that Azure seemed quite easy decision. And then Microsoft were also very, very supportive and actually set up some workshops, so we could actually work through whether it would work, how it would work, and the design that IM group had put forward, whether that would work. So what we're looking for, this is whereby we have live, but then as capacity and demand on me increases, so my plan is the fact that we move on to the Azure, and that will take it, soak it up. As I want to turn the wick, so I'm expecting it to cater for it. And then later move on to just having one site and having it all in Azure. Because of that capacity, I'd always kept, and because I'm in insurance, of course, we've got so much more compliance, and the risk aversion is so high that inevitably we will keep capacity in-house. As you have electricity, you don't have your own electricity, but you do have, most people have standby generators. That's the analogy I would be using here. We knew our cost for tin, talking earlier about making sure that you establish exactly what it is you're doing. Make sure you've got your base. We know how much it costs us for tin. We were therefore able to, following the proof of concept, we were therefore able to model what it should produce. What were the costs? We could show the time of day, we could show the time of year. So therefore we could very quickly and relatively easily, well, according to Microsoft it was easy, but I can assure you the spreadsheet was immense. But a minimum of 40%. The other one is that the migration is that as and when this works, and I do say when it works, then the idea is that I can start moving some of the existing capital as new projects come. What I'll do is I'll shift existing stuff onto the cloud and move that existing tin to be used for other applications. And so I'll be looking to move from CapEx to OpEx. There's new and unknown. I do have an issue at the moment with compliance. I've got Price Waterhouse in doing their annual systems audit, and I've asked them the simple question, if I had this out on the cloud, what is it that you would be expecting me to, what would it take to give me a clean bill of health? And they don't know. This is, in the financial sector, we are, as I say, very, very risk averse. And it seems to me that none of the big Deloitte's, Arthur Andersen, Price Waterhouse, nobody wants to be the first one to actually sign one of these things off. There is a degree of change to our process. We've got to make sure that we can make sure that we have delta changes, can easily be kept in tandem with our in-house and the ones in the cloud. At the moment, I don't really see that as being fully automated as at this moment. And whilst we can model it, there is a bit of uncertainty until you've actually done it, and done it in anger. What is that consumption model? Now, we've actually got it up and running. So now we're actually up and running, but not live. It's I did not touch. It's one of the things about being an early mover is the fact that you come across quite a few of these sort of compliance type issues, and the fact that uncertainty on the pricing. But as I was saying, we are absolutely sure of our facts. We know how much the tin costs us. We know when our usage is. We can actually plan all of that out. So I've lost the rest of my. Let's. What does it never work with children or technology? So to my mind, what we're looking for is this hybrid approach, moving it generally, moving it piece by piece. One of the things, talking about data protection, I'd just like to say is the fact that with the area that we're looking for, it's the interface with the aggregators. And so therefore, when the aggregators pass us something for a quote, they're not our customer. That's not our information. It's actually owned by the aggregator. The only thing that we actually pass back is actually just a price. So therefore, what we're doing is we're actually providing a personalised mail shot to the public. Now, I've got to run that one by the auditors and see whether they're happy with that definition or not. Again, as I say, I've got them in at this moment in time. So from an architectural viewpoint and from an architectural and an actual implementation, we're ready to roll. The area that we're not ready to roll is compliance, and we're having it totally signed off. Thank you.